Hi, my name is JT, and thank you for purchasing the Ultimate Collectors. It is my take on a classic collector's plot, and this version is very clean and very direct. Three cards are chosen, vanish the deck, and reappear between the four aces. The effect is just as described. After the routine, we can give the three chosen cards to the spectators, and then we can show both sides of the aces. And now, let me teach you how to do this routine. First, let's have a look at the basic principle and the gimme cards. There are two piles of gimme cards. First, let's have a look at this pile. In this pile, there are three indifferent cards. These cards need to be forced to the spectators. And on these three cards, there is roughing fluid, but it is a very special kind of roughing fluid. In a traditional roughing fluid, we need to paint both sides of the cards, but this special kind of roughing fluid only need to paint one side of the card. So this means if we paint the face of this card and then we put this card inside the spread, and this card will be hidden because of the friction. But on both sides of the three chosen cards, there is roughing fluid. I will use a deck to show you how they work. I will use this card as an example. If we put this card face up inside the spread, when we square the deck and when we spread the deck again, this card looks disappear. Why? Because this card is here. Because there is this special kind of roughing fluid on both sides of this card. So when we spread the deck, this card will catch the card above it and also catch the card beneath it. So when we spread from the back and from the face, it looks disappear because it is hidden here between these two cards. So that's how to vanish the three chosen cards. And next, let's talk about the ace packet. For these four aces, there's also roughing fluid on the four aces. And the ace of spades, on the back of it, on the lower 1/3 of its back, there is roughing fluid. Okay, and we put this card here. And the ace of hearts, on the upper 1/3 of its face, there's roughing fluid. And on the lower 1/3 of its back, there's roughing fluid. And the orientation and the order is very crucial. So please don't mess up the order and the orientation. And the ace of clubs, on the upper 1/3 of its face, there's roughing fluid. And on the lower 1/3 of its back, there's roughing fluid. And we put this card here. For the ace of diamonds, on the upper 1/3 of its face, there's roughing fluid. And there's no roughing fluid on its back. And we put this card here. So now, when you take three cards and put them between these four aces, and when we square the packet, and when we spread them again, when we spread from the bottom, because of the roughing fluid will hide the 3 cards perfectly, but we can't show the back. And when we square the ace packet, and when we turn over the packet like this, and when we spread the packet like this, we spread at the bottom of the cards. Because of the roughing fluid, these cards will hide the face of the chosen cards, but we can't show the back. So when we show like this, and then we show like this, they really look like 4 aces. And finally, because there is roughing fluid on the upper 1/3 and the lower 1/3, there is no roughing fluid on the center. So when we spread the center, these cards will be separate very easily. So we can show these 3 chosen cards arrive between the 4 aces. Now let's talk about how to force the cards. And here I recommend a method to use a short corner card to force the 3 chosen cards. To make this short corner card, I'd like to recommend you use a joker. You take one of the jokers, and then you use a pair of scissors to trim this edge. You cut this edge diagonally. You just cut a little bit like this. And then you use the scissors to round this corner. So now you have a short corner card. This card is very convenient for you to use your thumb to do the riffle force. You put the 3 chosen card on top of the deck, and then you put this short corner card on top of everything, and then you cut the cards in the middle of the deck. So now when you riffle the cards, the riffle will stop automatically at these 3 forced cards. That's how you force the 3 cards. First, you need to prepare a new deck of cards. And this deck of cards, the color need to be correspond to your gimme cards. And then you need to take out the 4 aces and we put them away. We don't need the 4 aces anymore. And then you need to take out the 3 corresponding cards to your forced cards. In my set, they are the 4 of clubs, the 7 of clubs, and the king of diamonds. And then we put these 3 cards in the same order as the 3 forced cards. This order depends on yourself. You can put them into your favorite order. And then we put these 3 normal cards face down in your hands. And then we put these 3 cards in between the 4 aces, just like this. By the way, the order of these 3 cards is very important. The first card needs to be between the ace of spades and the ace of hearts. And the second card needs to be between the ace of hearts and the ace of clubs. And the third card needs to be between the ace of clubs and the ace of diamonds. After you put the 3 chosen cards in between the 4 aces, you need to square the packet and you need to have a test. You spread the ace packet and you also need to spread the other side. You need to spread at the bottom part of the packet. After the test, you can put the ace packet aside. Now let's talk about how to set the whole routine. First, you take the whole deck and you put this short corner card aside. Then you pick up the 3 forced cards and you put them on top of the deck. Next, you take this short corner card and put it on top of the 3 forced cards. Please make sure that the short corner is far away from you, because we want to use our left thumb to do the riffle force. So this orientation is very important. Next, you cut half of the cards onto the table and you put the other half on top of it. Now the 3 forced cards are in the middle of the deck. Finally, you take the ace packet, you spread the ace packet. So now you will know how to spread the cards properly. And then you turn over the ace packet like this. So when you spread the bottom 1/3, there will be 4 backs. Finally, you put the ace packet on top of the deck. And now the setting is done. And then you can put this deck into the card case. So now it is ready to perform. First, you take this card case and you take out the cards from the card case like this. And then we push over the ace packet to show there are 4 aces, because the roughing fluid is here. So when we push over the ace packet, we need to press the lower 1/3 of the cards. So when we push over the cards, we need to push over here. And then we can rub to display there are 4 cards. And then we square the packet and we turn over the packet like this to show these are the 4 aces. And then we square the packet and we put the 4 aces here. In the spectator's point of view, there are only 4 aces. Next, we take the whole deck and we can show all the cards are different and all the cards are here to the spectators. No problem. And then we tell the spectators, when I riffle the cards, please say stop anywhere you like. And you correspond the speed. You spread the cards and the speed, this is stop. And when this is stop, because of the short corner card, the riffle will stop automatically at the 3 forced cards. I will show it to you again. Stop. And then you cut the cards at the stop. Then you deal the 3 cards on the table with your left hand. Next, you spread the deck on the table. Then you can show the 3 cards to the spectators. And you can put them inside the spread, one by one, just like this. Because of the special roughing fluid, the vanish of the cards is automatic. What you need to do is to square the packet and spread the deck again, and the 3 chosen cards vanish. And you can show the other side of the spread, just like this. Next, you take the ace packet and you only use 1 finger to spread at the middle part of this packet because there's roughing fluid here and there's roughing fluid here. There is no roughing fluid in the center. So when you spread the center, it will be very easy for you to spread the cards. Then you can ask the spectators, what are their cards? And you can show the cards to the spectators one by one, very clear. Finally, you can give these cards to the spectators to examine, or you can give these cards to the spectators as souvenirs. And then you can show both sides of the aces, and it looks really, really clean. And here's another way to show these three cards arrive. And I will set them one more time. After the three cards vanish in the deck, you can take the ace packet and then you can outjog the three cards to show the effect. And finally, you can take out the cards out of the deck, out of the packet, one by one, just like this. And finally, you can show both sides of the aces. Now the effect is done. Here is a little tip. You can also perform the ultimate collectors with 4 blue aces and a red deck. How to achieve that? The only thing you need to do is to buy 2 sets of ultimate collectors. You buy a blue set and a red set. You take out the 4 blue aces from the blue set, and then you do the setting as I taught. You put the 3 corresponding cards into the blue aces, just like this. Because of the roughing fluid, we can also show the face and the back, and the spectators will think there are 4 blue aces, and then you perform the routine as we taught. Finally, you can spread the center part of the ace packet. Now, 3 red cards appear between the 4 blue aces. Above is the whole instruction of the ultimate collectors. Thank you for purchasing again. Hope you like this routine.